Hi, I'm Jordan from Kettner Creative, and in this video I want to show you everything that you need to make a press conference work. All the equipment, the audio, the lighting, and the staging equipment that you need for your upcoming announcement. So first of all, we recommend a digital audio mixer. You can do a press conference with an analog audio console, but I don't think it will give you all the tools that you need. Typically when you're at a press event, there are many different things to keep in mind. Not only are you mixing for the guests that are at your event in person, but you're also feeding a press box for all the cameras to plug into, and you're also taking your own recording of the audio after the fact as well. Each one of those outputs requires its own nuance and its own tweaks as far as audio is concerned, and you can get them a lot easier out of a digital audio console than you can out of a analog audio console. Also with the digital console you have tools like compression and gating just to make sure that each of these mixes that you need after the event is done perfectly. So as mentioned, the audio console will feed some sort of a multi-box or a press feed or a press box. This is the one that we have. So basically we send a line in and it gives 12 inputs for the press media to plug into. So radio reporters will plug their audio device into it, and cameras will plug into this directly as well. This gives them a clean feed of the podium. The reason that this is required is because before press boxes became popular, all the cameras would just put their microphones up at the podium and it cluttered the microphone. There's a lot of press games going on where if you got your logo on TV, the camera guy would get compensated for that, and it just became more about positioning logos in front of the presenter than it did about the actual content from the presentation. So if you're worried about keeping your content as distraction free as possible, I would recommend using like a slimline microphone like this and a press feed, and just make the media take their feed from here. We also use a Tascam DR40 as our own audio backup. So whenever a client hires us to do a press event, we always give them a clean copy of the audio after the fact so they have it for their records. This is good just to make sure that none of the reporting is taken out of context, because the client has a recording of what happened and what was said, and they can defend themselves if the media decided to spin it or take something out of context. The podium is pretty important, so there's a lot of different styles of podiums that you can choose. It's best to find like a podium style that matches the theme of your event or the style of your event. One thing to keep in mind about your podium selection is you want to make sure that the podium is a comfortable height for the most important presenter of the day. So some podiums are a little bit taller and some are a little bit shorter, so you don't want a tall podium if it's a funding announcement coming from a contributor that's shorter. You want them to look the best as possible. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is it's nice to have a flat edge near the top of the podium. This allows you to have a nice clean surface to put on a podium sign with your press announcement. In terms of speakers, we have a couple videos on how to choose the right speakers for your event, but generally a pair of 12-inch powered speakers will work well for most press events. Most press events typically have somewhere between 10 and 80 in-person guests, and two 12-inch speakers allow you to adapt and make sure that everybody at the venue can hear the podium or what's being discussed at a comfortable listening level. In terms of lighting, we are big fans of it's called the Kino Celeb 201 light. So this light is it's a typical video production light, but you can change the color temperature of it. So if you're say you're in an automotive shop with daylight style lighting, then you can match the color of the lighting in that room. If you're in a school with more tungsten type lighting, you can shift the color of the lights to match what's in the room already, so you're just adding to and helping with that. But also a pair of these, you can stack them on top of each other, and it works as a good fill light if you're in an outdoor press event. Using the sunlight as your key light, you can use two of these as a fill light if you can get them close enough. You generally want these lights about 10 feet away from the podium, and you want two of them left and right. So basically you want them right on the left and the right of where the cameras are when they're filming the event. Couple, like, as a tech, you want to be, the guests arrive and they depart really fast. It's not uncommon for you to have no guests at your event 15 minutes prior and no guests at your event 15 minutes after the announcement. So things like putting sandbags on all your tripod stands and taping down cables or using cable ramps effectively can help you have like a good event with no equipment getting knocked over. Also, for press events, we're typically there about 2 hours. We arrive 2 hours before the announcement, and everything is set up within about 30 minutes. So that means that we have an hour and a half for testing. And in this time, we're tweaking the podium location, working with the event planner to make sure everything's good, but we're also testing, retesting, and retesting everything. So we'll plug in our audio recorder, we'll take our audio recorder and we'll test each channel of the press box. Once the first camera arrives, we'll retest it, make sure that they're comfortable with the level that we're sending and the EQ that we've chosen to go with for the event. And that's the same reason that we have 2 microphones. Generally at any event, we only use 1 microphone, but the other one is just fully backup. We also bring a wireless handheld microphone as backup, but it also works for Q&A. So it's very important because these press events are a one-shot deal. We've never had it where a microphone never worked at an event, but any backup that you can think of, because you get 1 shot, the camera's only there for 15 minutes, so you got to make the announcement good. But yeah, other than that, if you have any other questions about this, please give us a call, 604-427-1629, or email us events@kettnercreative.com.